Church, Kirsten begged and prodded that man to stay home and share with her, but when it came time for her to share, mama ain't had nothing much to say at all. I got my notes, I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Y'all, so to my returning church members, baby, welcomes, and to all my new people, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and to also click that bell notification so you are notified every time I decide to upload a video. Now, baby, listen, my outfit and my spirit today are giving Love Shoulda Brought You Home last night, because it seems like that's what Kirsten was channeling in the beginning of the episode with Shaquille. Baby, love shoulda brought you home last night. You shoulda been with me, shoulda been right by my side. Baby, if you cared anything for me, then love woulda brought you to me last night. Thank you. Listen, the funny part, baby, is by the end of the episode, mama was singing Let Me Cater to You, because, baby, this is your day. Do anything for my man, because, baby, you blow me away. Now, I need to stop singing on this channel, because y'all know I have never had a copyright infringement claim on this thing, but if I keep singing, I'm going to be there soon. So, listen, we do not need them to shut my channel all the way down, all right? Now, let's get on into Shaquille and Kirsten, because they are number one in my mind, right? So let's talk about this whole notion of love should have brought you home. So listen, we basically start our story today and start the episode with them going back and forth in terms of Shaquille being at work, Shaquille pursuing his dream, Shaquille working late at night and stuff. And, you know, I don't mean to say love should have brought you home in terms of Shaquille being out there cheating, okay? Because that's not the case, okay? Y'all know I just love a clever play on words, honey. Love should have brought him home instead of being out with his mentees and out down to the damn, universitying. Okay, listen. But he is chasing his dream, so let that man do that. But Kirsten was down to the house feeling a certain way, saying that she basically, she was missing Shaquille. She felt that they couldn't, bond properly and couldn't have that emotional intimacy because he was never there. She was waiting up for him. He would get home super late and then she would basically be asleep by the time he got home, right? So I was actually feeling her in the beginning of the episode. By the end of it, I was like, girl, we got to have a conference with you, me, and Jesus, okay? Because what is the true problem, right? Now let's move on to the mentees meet and greet, right? So Shaquille realizes that what Kirsten needs is to spend more time with me, and I have to kind of balance, my work stuff with my home and my family life. So he basically brings his work stuff home, right? When he brings his mentees to meet her, right? Now, baby, listen, was it me? Or were those damn mentees hot for Kirsten from the moment that they saw her at that damn door, okay? Listen, you could see them salivating in their minds and in their damn teenage eyes, okay? So listen, Kirsten was serving it to the people and the boys was picking it up and they was not shy at all. But I thought it was great in order to merge my work life with my home life. This is why I'm away from you. I'm instilling, values. I'm instilling, character. I'm instilling, life skills and values into these boys' lives, right? I'm doing the Lord's work, okay? Essentially, right? So I thought it was awesome. And it seemed like in a weird way, the boys started to interview them in terms of their relationship and, how they're making it work and how they're making time for each other, okay? And listen, that boy at the end, the shorter one that was talking about how, Kirsten, who do your hair? Baby, I want to know that too, okay? Because listen, Kirsten has some of the prettiest hair that I have seen. And baby, listen, I was zooming into the damn screen because I was trying to see whether it was all hers or whether there was some laceation to her situation or some magic hair placed on in the back, okay? So ladies in the audience, please drop down in the comments, baby, and let me know whether you think Kirsten's hair is all hers or whether she has a little bit of assistance, okay? Now let's move on to this whole cater to you thing and them trying to get deeper. So this episode was really about the couples kind of taking a step away from the experts, taking a step from them being, so super involved or super, super scheduling them out. And it was really for them to kind of show their own personality, show their own emotions, show their own insecurities from their own perspectives, and kind of gain a level of commonality in that, right? So Kirsten organizes this whole Cater to You night where she basically does a spa day, which is why I got my damn, robe on and my hat, because this is what you can come home to when love should have brought you home to me last night, okay? But listen, y'all, this is where the rails kind of went off the damn track, okay? Because I truly loved Shaq's, I truly loved his vulnerability in what he was saying, okay? That man said that he was insecure growing up in terms of not being interested in sports. Let me tell y'all something. As a Black African American male, okay? Growing up and not being interested in sports, honey, I had that damn testimony as well, okay? I was looked at in my family, baby, as the redheaded stepchild, okay? Because listen, I can't tell you who threw a touchdown last night, but I can tell you what Nene and them did down to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? So it was trying to prove myself in other ways, educationally, scholastically, to try to show that I'm still valuable and we can have commonalities in some other stuff that I'm interested in and that you may have, a part in as well, right? So I truly felt him on that. And then also when he was talking about his whole insecurity just regarding his baldness and stuff. And he said it really didn't throw him into a whole bunch of stuff. But he said, he was thinking, baby, I was in my 20s and I'm trying not to have a nip slip, y'all. So if y'all see me adjusting, that's what I'm doing. He's like, I'm trying to, I'm in my 20s, I'm young and I'm juicy and I have this whole bald thing going on and I'm trying to deal with it. Y'all, when I tell you I was damn near about to shed a tear, okay, on his damn testimony, because I truly remember being 27 when my hair loss started. And I was just like, just imagine, like, people don't give men enough credit sometimes for that whole bald thing when they have to go through it, or the hair loss thing, or the male pattern baldness. Like, it is really something deleterious to your emotional state, right? Think about it. You spent 20, 22, 25 years, 27 years, basically knowing who you are, trying to figure out who you are, realizing that there are some certain things about you that are constant, right? And then in one fell swoop, baby, your hair starts leaving your head, okay? And everything you knew about yourself in terms of your spirit, your confidence and stuff, it just starts to drain from you. So I'm not going to get into a soapbox on it, but I truly felt his conversation when he was talking about his insecurities regarding the whole sports thing and the whole, going bald thing, right? Now, listen, we got to call a spade, all right? Kirsten, you spent the majority of the episode talking about how the man wasn't sharing with you because he wasn't there, okay? Now the man is in your face. He has been as vulnerable as he can be in your face. And when it comes time for you to reciprocate, you ain't got nothing much to say, okay? First, you basically say that there's too much about you that you can't even, start. You don't even know where to start, right? And then he said, well, okay, well, just tell me one thing, baby. Just tell me one thing about you. Oh, well, there's really not that much to tell. Girl, is it not enough to tell, or is there too much to tell? Like, first of all, get your story straight. Like, Kirsten, baby, you gonna have to figure out what is it, okay? Because listen, there has to be some sort of story that you're holding close to the vest in terms of why you don't feel like you can share anything with this man. Like, baby, listen, was you an axe murderer, okay? Did you escape from Amish country, honey? Look, you know what? Girl, was you one of the women being passed around in Airris's orgy, honey? Like, let the people know. No, I'm joking. But what is it, okay? And listen, my spirit is telling me it's either one of two things. Either whatever it is, you just don't share, or you have such a wall up in terms of sharing, or it's the latter in terms of when you pull the curtain back, there's not much there to share at all, okay? And I hope it's not the case, because listen, that man ain't gonna say yes on decision day and ain't gonna try to get to a better place with you if you don't start giving up some damn details, okay? So Kirsten, you got to do better. There is a story and a song in your heart, and baby, you got to let it out, but only you can do that, and I pray you do that before the damn process is over. Now let's move on to Nicole and Chris. And let's talk about her bringing up the whole love thing again. Y'all, I'm kind of double-minded on this, okay? On one hand, okay, based on all the concessions and compromises that Nicole has done in this relationship, As far as I'm concerned, to Chris, she should be the Dalai Lama, baby Jesus, and Oprah all wrapped up in one. Okay, like you should be saying you love me. You should be protecting, professing, and providing for me. Okay, at this point, like it should be a foregone conclusion, baby, that you are in love with me and I am the bee's knees. Okay, now that's on one side. On the other side, I'm like, listen. You can do these things for me. You can do these things out of the kindness of your heart or to make our relationship go further. But listen, love takes time. Ooh, that's that Mariah. Y'all don't get me to start singing again, honey. I love Love Takes Time by Mariah Carey. But listen, love takes time and it's going to take a minute for those feelings to develop, okay? And you always trying to put a rush on me. Baby, what is up with me today in these songs, honey? You put in a rush on me. Y'all remember that? Stephanie Mills? I was back in like the late 80s, early 90s. I'm getting off track. My ADD acting up. Love is going to take time, baby, and do not put a rush on that man. You want him to, when he finally gets around to love, for it to be a genuine love connection and not something that you done pulled out of the man, okay? Let it come from his insides, all right? I think you kind of have to have a delicate balance in terms of talking about the whole love thing, talking about the next level, but also metering that with not trying to like back somebody into a corner for love, because it kind of gives off vibes of dependency and like you just a little bit insecure, right? Now, speaking of insecure, honey, our next point is this damn athletic comment. Now, listen. I was all with Chris where he was, down to the couch with them and they were trying to get into their deeper emotional connection. And he was talking about how, he cut his hair and he said, I want to have my appearance be great for you. And, my body is not where I want it to be, but it's a work in progress and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I'm lulled into a false sense of security that we're about to have like a decent conversation and something that's worth something. And then this man goes off the damn rails. I don't know if maybe you, Chris, and Clint have a damn group chat between the two of y'all, but what needs to be discussed is y'all don't get to use the word athletic no more, okay? No more words at athletic, slender, nothing, okay? And hell, add thick to it too, because listen, thick is the word that basically throws Nicole into something, honey, so take thick out. Athletic, slender, thick, you don't get to use them words no more, okay? This is what I can't take. Now, I'm double-minded on this too. On one hand, I'm glad that he got ahead of his own story, okay? Because it would have been worse later on if, this clip had come up, she didn't know anything about it, and then she's having to like react in the moment, right? And on the other hand, it kind of it triggers her insecurity in terms of, does my husband truly have these feelings deep down inside? Hell, do drunk men tell no tales? I don't know if the man was drunk in that damn scene, but hell, Chris, at this point, you might as well just claim drunkenness because that's a way to get past this, okay? But listen, he said she's a little bit thicker than he would normally go for. Honestly, it's just like that whole Gina and Clint situation to me, okay? Like the comment does not seem to be steeped in malice, okay? But sometimes men can be a bit obtuse when it comes to women's bodies and when it comes to the proper terminology to use, okay? So if anything that can come from this moment, just make it a teaching moment. And I really, give kudos to Nicole for not going off the rails as best as she probably could. And she kind of tapered down her, disgust or her disdain for him in that moment. But listen, she talked about body dysmorphia, and that's a true thing. It's a real thing that women go through. It's a real thing that, some men go through and whatever. And it's like, it's basically you see yourself differently than everybody else sees you, but it's taken to the extreme, okay? Listen, I was watching something on The Breakfast Club yesterday with Tammy Roman, and she was talking about how, her body dysmorphia makes her get super skinny, right? And even when she starts to look like a stick figure or, malnourished, she feels that that's her looking good. And when people comment on her and basically say, you look skeletal, you need to eat something, in her mind, because of her body dysmorphia, she hears, girl, you look good. Girl, you looking amazing. Girl, keep doing what you're doing, okay? So the body dysmorphia thing is real, and whether it's taking you to one extreme or the other, it's still valid in terms of the conversation that needs to be had. So good for Nicole for, finding a way through that difficult conversation and not letting the man's stupid ass comments basically derail y'all progress, all right? But I truly hope that, Chris, you kind of try to find the best way through it. And sometimes when you're trying to go through a storm, the best way is through. But don't guise something as like self-reflection on yourself when you're really trying to break bad news to the lady, okay? Do better. Now let's move on to Jasmine and Airris. And let's talk about, am I doing good on nip slips, y'all? I think I am. Let's talk about this whole COVID care. So listen, Airris done fell out with the COVID, honey. And listen, I don't mean to throw people's words back up in their faces, but wasn't Airris the one that was saying if he got sick and was on his deathbed, he would be happy that Jasmine was taking care of him because she knew what to do, okay? Now, apparently, Jasmine said that only works during the weekend. Okay, during the week, baby, I got to do this damn competitive cheerleading coaching thing, and I ain't got time for you until, the early mornings and the late evenings. Okay, so listen. That man gave her a COVID care score of 7 out of 10. Now that's a 70%. You gave that lady a C, okay? So there's room for improvement, and to your own admission, this is the first time you've been sick in a relationship. So, you kind of have to meet your expectations. But listen, the fact that she was caring for your ass at all, given all the stuff that you haven't given her in terms of what she wanted out of the relationship, I say she did a 10 out of 10, okay? Because if it was me, no, let me not go down that road, okay? You did good caring for the man, Jasmine. Okay, and Airris, be more grateful. Now let's get on into this whole him washing Duchess, right? So Airris, after he gets back to better health, they go down to the damn puppy wash area at the damn apartment, and he decides to do a nice thing for her in terms of, you took care of me, let me take care of something that's important to you. And he said, let me wash Duchess, okay? Now apparently he wasn't doing well, but listen, each one teach one, learn a lesson, and do better, okay? Because the entire time he was washing that dog, all I kept saying in my head is, he's just sitting there just washing $5,000. Just look at that beautiful $5,000 getting washed. Because y'all know them damn golden doodles go for $5,000 a piece, okay? So listen, when it comes to the dogs, Duchess, the rest of the puppies that she got, I don't have anything but good things to say, because you got an asset that you don't even realize right in your face, barking, okay? And running around the damn house. So good for you for doing something nice for her when she did something nice for you. Now, in terms of this love conversation, let's go deeper. The issue that I think that keeps popping up between Jasmine and Airris is that they speak two different love languages as it relates to going deeper, okay? To Jasmine, going deeper is having those emotional conversations, like in the eternal words of Kimbra, like, I want to know about your childhood. I want to know if you were misunderstood. Like, I want those stories to get more commonalities with you, to find out who you were then, who you were as a teenager, how you are now, and how that all wraps up in a beautiful bow, right? To Airris, baby, for some reason, going deeper for him means talking about sex, okay? Now, I'm not going to negate any sort of, love language in terms of sex can be a love language for some men. And to his own admission, when he tried to have a deeper love connection with somebody before in his life, they basically stomped on his heart and he decided he didn't want to do that no more. So I'm kind of wondering if the whole sex talk is kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to trying to get deeper, because that's what he's kind of replaced the emotional side with. Like, instead of going emotionally deeper, I'm just going to bring it to a sex level because that's where I'm more comfortable, right? So I think that's a wall that y'all got to basically, break down. But, I think talking about sex should be open. I just think Airris takes it to the extreme, right? Like, I didn't need to know how many orgies he's been to and how much, group sex or threesomes that he's had, okay? Baby, who hasn't? Okay, Let me stop. But I have had a threesome and I have been to an orgy, okay? And I do believe in terms of what he said, in terms of you supposed to do these things when you single so you can check them off a list. That's why sometimes people get married too early when they haven't had these life experiences, and then you wondering why you got so much hell in your life when your husband ain't home and he down to the damn bathhouse or down to the damn, bunny ranch, okay? Fool-la-la with the ladies because he didn't get that stuff out of his system when he was younger. So I think there's some sort of tightrope that has to be walked between the constant sex talk, or the sex talk being synonymous with emotions to him, and her wanting to go deeper in terms of the real emotional talk. So Airris, baby, you got to do better regarding this, okay? And I truly wonder if they have time in the damn 8 weeks to actually go deeper, because I'm wondering if Airris's love language is sex, right? Can he not go deeper emotionally with someone until he reaches that sex point with them? You know, like, is all of this just pageantry, fantasies, and delusions? Because if he doesn't have the sex with her, he can't develop deeper emotional ties. I wonder that. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Now let's move on to Gina and Clint. And y'all, I'm going to actually give Gina and Clint the award for most improved. Okay, because I truly thought that after Dominique and what's his name? I forgot his name already. Dominique and her husband left the damn show after she broke up with him, all right? I thought that Gina and Clint might be next, okay? But it seems like Gina read over that whole pesky contract and that whole if you leave early clause, honey, you owe us some money. And mama said, I got to invest all my money in my salon, honey, and I ain't got no extra money. I got to use this money for permits, honey, for extra hair, for more curling tresses and stuff. I don't have extra money to give away, so I'm going to get this thing in formation, right? So Clint talks to his mom, and apparently his mom is some sort of business owner. And I really love the conversation with Clint and his mom because it truly put the whole thing with Gina in perspective, right? You know, his mom kind of said what he wanted to hear in the beginning, and then she got down to the nitty gritty, which is this. When you're starting a business, you become very singularly focused, okay, on that business. You have to get it off the ground. You know, your blood, sweat, and tears and all your money is basically wrapped up in this. So if you don't devote, you know, the entirety of your mind to it, it can potentially fail, and you don't want that given how much effort you put in, right? So it kind of put Gina's one-mindedness as it relates to her salon and that being the center of her life right now into perspective. And I hope that it gave Clint some kind of, you know, clarity regarding it. Now, I do believe you have to meter that in terms of, you know, you can't just go full force on something and leave one whole aspect of your life out, right? So that's why I said this, you know, a couple weeks ago. I truly wonder if she's able to dedicate the time that it takes to build a relationship right now, or if she just needs some sort of maintenance man on the side to keep her good, right? Somebody to cuddle with that night, to do the do when she needs it, so that she can focus more of her attention on her business. And I truly wonder if she has the bandwidth to give Clint what he needs in this marriage, you know, despite all of their issues, right? Now, Gina decides to, you know, create some more commonality to introduce this man into her world by taking him down to the salon, right? So we finally see the salon, we see the other girls, we see the setup, and just like in the damn episode where, you know, I think it was last week where they were basically having the housewarming stuff. Gina said that she was glad to know that she could take this man to the salon and he would be okay with being in a room full of women. He could talk and converse, and it seemed to be a continuation of that. He seemed to fit right in, right? So I thought that was good in terms of him finding a way to kind of insert himself into her greater life and finding out that it can be a very, you know, a good environment and something that he can like jump right into. So I thought that was great. And, you know, it kind of makes things real when you see them in real life. You know, Gina can talk about the salon until she's blue in the face, but actually seeing it makes it real, and it makes it seem like something that she's building and something larger than herself in terms of her entrepreneurial values, right? Now, then we move on to the boats, right? And let's talk about this whole thing about sailing away. Now, listen, I love that Clint loves boating, okay? As y'all know, my damn nickname for Gina and Clint is Teeth and the Gordon's Fisherman, okay? And the thing that would have made my life even more better is if in that moment, Clint had a damn yellow parka and he could have stood at the bow of the boat with like a damn sword or something or whatever. But listen, that's just me being silly. But listen, I'm glad that, you know, they've gotten to a point where they can just be around each other and it's a good time, okay? Build that friendship, build that, you know, platonic based relationship, and maybe the other stuff will pop up later, okay? Now listen, honey, as you know, Black people do not have a very great history with boats, and I'm not saying that's what drives me in boats, but I love the water and I love boats, but more so from like the upper deck of a cruise ship, honey. They was a bit too close to the water for me, and I watch too much Lifetime. I'm a little bit paranoid, and you know, I have a flair for the dramatic, okay? So when they was out in the middle of the pond, lake, or whatever body of water they were in, all I was thinking was, this is a setup to a Lifetime murder mystery starring me, okay? And I had to take myself out of it because it was a nice event. There were other witnesses. I mean, other people on the water that was having fun and enjoying their life, and it was a nice experience. So it was good that, Gina showed him her salon stuff and what was important to her. Clint showed her the whole sailing thing and what was important to him. So awesome sharing of lives, right? Now let's move on to this whole professional bull riding event. Y'all, I'm telling you, Married at First Sight is always expanding my mind. Never did I ever think that there was actually a professional bull riding league. Okay, so I learned something new, all right? And these people look like, it was like WWE wrestling meets bull riding. Okay, it just looked very eventful. They had fire going on, the bulls going, doing their thing and throwing people off and stuff. I don't do nothing dangerous, okay? I don't sail, I don't do the bull riding, but I could watch it in the stands, and I could see that as something that I would go to kind of check it off a bucket list item. So I thought that was great in terms of, her wanting to do more things with the man. She found out it was like, I don't know, around the corner from where they were situated in terms of their apartment, and she said, let's go and have a good time, right? And I think that that's what they should do right now. Have a series of good times, and hopefully through doing that, more deep emotional connections and feelings will result from that. Okay, that's my hope. But y'all, I think that's really all I wanted to discuss on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, where is Dr. Pepper, honey? Dr. Pepper, is them people holding you hostage in your confessional? Because, mama, we have not seen you out and about this damn whole season, okay? Dr. Pepper, blink once for yes and twice for no if them people got you held hostage. But no, y'all, let our couples keep developing these emotional ties and get into love or somewhere close by decision day. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.